It was raining hard that evening, the kind of rain that makes even the city lights blur and fade. At the entrance gate of a massive corporate building stood a tall, tired man named Ryan, his uniform soaked and his old cap dripping with water. He was a security guard, a single father trying to survive each day for his little daughter, Emily. He had worked there for years, quietly watching people in expensive suits drive by, wondering what kind of world they lived in, a world so far from his own. But tonight would be different. Because when Ryan lifted his hand to stop a sleek black car from passing through the gate, he had no idea that the woman sitting inside would change his life forever. The car slowed, headlights slicing through the rain, and Ryan stepped forward, squinting. He had orders that no car could enter without clearance after hours, and though his voice shook a little, he stood firm. "Ma'am, please wait, I need to check your ID." The driver lowered the window slightly, annoyed. "Do you know who's inside this car?" the man snapped. Ryan shook his head. "Doesn't matter, sir. It's protocol." For a moment, silence. Then the passenger door opened, and a woman stepped out. She was tall, poised, wearing a black coat that looked more expensive than Ryan's entire month's salary. Her eyes were sharp, the kind that had seen too much and felt too little. The CEO herself, Claire Donovan, one of the most powerful businesswomen in the city, but when her gaze fell on Ryan's face, something inside her froze. She didn't say a word. Her hand trembled slightly, and her confident posture softened as if she'd seen a ghost. Ryan noticed it too. Confusion flickered in his eyes, but he didn't recognize her. He just saw a woman staring at him like he was someone from another lifetime. The driver leaned out. "Ms. Donovan, should we?" She lifted a hand to stop him, her eyes still on Ryan. "No, it's fine," she murmured, then whispered almost to herself, "It can't be." Ryan, puzzled, cleared his throat. "Ma'am, if you have your ID, I'll let you in." Her eyes filled with something between disbelief and sorrow. "Ryan Miller," she whispered. He blinked. "Yes, ma'am." "Do I know you?" She didn't answer. Instead, she looked away quickly, hiding whatever emotion had surfaced. "Let him open the gate," she said softly, her voice distant. That night, long after the car disappeared into the rain, Ryan couldn't shake her expression from his mind. It was as if she'd seen a memory, one that hurt too much to remember. The next morning, the unexpected happened. The CEO's assistant came to the gate and handed Ryan an envelope. "Ms. Donovan wants to see you in her office," she said curtly. Ryan's heart raced. Had he done something wrong? Was he getting fired for stopping her car? He needed this job, for Emily's school, for their rent, for everything. But there was no choice. He went up, nervous, adjusting his uniform as the elevator climbed to the top floor. When the doors opened, Claire was there, standing by the window, staring out at the skyline. "Come in, Ryan," she said without turning around. Her voice carried something heavy, like the past pressing against the present. He stepped inside quietly. "Ma'am, if I did something wrong," she turned, cutting him off. "You didn't." Her eyes softened, and for the first time, he saw not the CEO, but a woman haunted by something. "I just needed to confirm something." Ryan frowned. "Confirm what?" She hesitated, then reached into her drawer and pulled out an old photograph. "This," she said, handing it to him. Ryan stared down. It was a faded picture of two young people at a small-town fair. The boy was him, younger, smiling. And beside him was Claire, with the same eyes, the same smile. Where did you?" Her voice broke slightly. "We grew up together. You were my best friend, Ryan. Until the day you disappeared." Memories hit him like a wave. Summers spent under the old oak tree, laughter, dreams they'd shared before life tore them apart. He had left town after his parents' accident, never looking back, forced to survive on his own. And she had gone on to become someone the world admired, but at a cost he couldn't see. Tears welled in Claire's eyes as she said softly, "I looked for you, you know. But you were gone. And then last night, there you were, standing in the rain, guarding a gate I probably never should have owned." Ryan didn't know what to say. He looked down, swallowing hard. Life had other plans, he said simply. They talked for hours, about the past, about the choices that had built walls between them. Claire had built her empire, but lost her family in the process. Ryan had lost everything except Emily, his reason to live. When Claire learned about his daughter, something inside her shifted. She insisted on meeting Emily. The next day, she did, and the moment she saw the little girl with bright eyes and a brave smile, she felt something she hadn't felt in years: warmth. Emily liked her instantly, calling her Aunt Claire. And as the days passed, the three of them grew closer, like a broken family finding its way back together piece by piece. Claire helped Ryan move into a better home. Ryan, in turn, reminded her of the person she used to be: kind, human, alive. But there was a truth Ryan didn't know. Claire was hiding something. She was sick. A terminal diagnosis she had kept secret from everyone. The reason she worked late nights, the reason she'd built everything so fast, she knew her time was running short. One evening, Emily gave her a handmade card that said, "Family isn't who you're born with. It's who stands beside you when you need it most." Claire broke down. For the first time in years, she cried, not as a CEO, but as a woman who finally found what she'd been missing weeks past. Claire's health declined, but she stayed close to Ryan and Emily, watching them, smiling through the pain. And when the day came when she couldn't come to work anymore, Ryan sat by her hospital bed, holding her hand. She whispered faintly, "Promise me you'll keep living, Ryan." Not surviving, living. For Emily. For me. He nodded, tears streaming down his face. "I promise." Claire smiled one last time, her fingers tightening around his. "I always told you, you'd be the strongest man I know." And then she was gone quietly, peacefully, leaving behind a legacy not of money or buildings, but of kindness reborn. Months later, Ryan stood again at that same gate, this time, not as a guard, but as the new head of the foundation Claire had left behind in his and Emily's name. The plaque read, "For the ones who never give up, no matter how hard the storm." As he watched the sunrise, holding Emily's hand, he whispered softly, "Thank you, Claire, for finding me again." Because sometimes life brings people back not to repeat the past, but to heal what was left unfinished. And in that healing, Ryan finally understood, love never really disappears. It just waits for the right moment to return.